Ivo, who until recently happened to be an executive member of the ADF, AGovC. Tabang, is great to have you, sir.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you. I read something that you put out, I think that was yesterday, and you wrote, the bees I know will show you photos of those killed during the Regina Rescue Exchange mission. They will show you images of the camps destroyed, the camp where Regina was kept. They will show you all kinds of bravado images. They did it for General Ivo, they did it for General Ayeke, they did it for Chacha, etc. You say, if they have not shown you a single image, it means money probably changed hands. It was well coordinated with the preservation of lives for money exchange. Our ancestors must be weeping in their graves. Well put out there, Ivo. Tell us, why do you believe money changed hands? Indeed, of course, I have made that explanation, but from your own perspective, tell us why you thought money changed hands. Or maybe maybe you are privy to some information that we do not. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I think I'll be as honest as possible without blending or without mixing or mincing words or blending into other groups. I partially do agree with most of what you've said in your. So, principally, of what you've said in your monologue. Likewise, I may also disagree on a couple of items that I would certainly explain or expatiate on this show. So, principally, I wrote that particular post, which is absolutely very correct. You've clearly used my words there, and I said probably changed hands, probably exchanged hands. That is what I was saying. Truly, if you look at what happened yesterday in Batibo or in Ashong village, you would realize that the bees were completely very clean. If you look at basically, if any novice has been in this revolution for the last 4 years,
Right.
the bees have been very consistent with their MOs. The first thing that they always do is to show the dead bodies of those they've killed. Secondly, they would also display the camps they've destroyed. And as you clearly stated, and you were citing from Cameroon's media reports, the Ministry of Defense, I don't know why you would even want to pick on the Ministry of Defense report, which is completely propaganda. But if they are spewing out their propaganda and saying camps were destroyed, civilians were rescued, others were killed, but we did not see any of those images. So they are faking the news and they are manufacturing consent. And this is exactly what is misleading the revolution, because we keep believing in La République du Cameroon and its propaganda news outlets, including Mimi Mefo. Secondly, I stand by my words that true, most probably, money exchange hands. But as you've said, I think you've cited on a couple of, in a couple of instances, you've said 80 million. I want
Correct.
to roll back the memories.
Let me just clarify
Yeah.
that. When Regina Mundi was first picked up, I received a phone call from somebody in the family. And the information was that they were at the ADF, in spite of the fact that they were out saying they're gonna exchange Regina Mundi for Ngalanfo. They were telling the family at the same time to give them a ransom of 80 million CFA. Now, I don't know whether you read what Capo Daniel put out yesterday. She clearly stated they were offered 80 million and they lost it to the operation. So, I mean,
did he use the word ransom?
I don't recollect that
right,
enough.
but I would
But
like
she
to
clearly
explain
mentioned they
something,
were
because
offered 80 million. It was on the table, but they lost that due to this operation.
propaganda campaigns on my Facebook page. The posts are still available. in which I stated that it was 100 million and it was about 80 million. Probably Capo Daniel picked on that and he was spewing out that to the public. I think it's an issue of miscommunications, and when you put the wrong people in the right communications channel, you would expect maybe garbage out. So this is exactly what is happening. Certainly millions exchange hands, and I don't know, maybe 500 or 50 or 80. I will not put any figure on it. And I'm saying probably because I'm not sure about it. But I know for sure a fact that the ADF, that happens to be the most I would say the most prominent defense forces on the ground, contrary to you stating that they are all working for La Republic, which I completely
Well, that is very debatable. You know that. That is very
well, it's not
debatable.
debatable because
We'll
I'll
debate
prove
that
to
on
you a
another
couple of
occasion.
points. I'll prove to you a couple of points where the ADF has taken actions against La Republic, including the most recent arrest of Regina Mundi, whom you hailed in this particular show. And I
Absolutely. Hold on there. Hold on there, Tapan. We all hail them. I mean, I think that was the very first time I hailed them.
So why will you hail La Republic?
Hail La Republic for doing what?
That you said ADF is La Republic, so why are you hailing
Yeah,
La
yeah,
Republic?
that's what I want to explain to you. When you
Okay.
pick Regina Mundi and you tell all of us we are going to exchange her for Pa Info Ngalanfo. But Pa Ngalanfo is still languishing in Kondenge, and you collect money just as you and myself we are saying. How is that a plus? How do we say they are fighting against La Republic in that action?
All right, true. You may that's I would say that's your rational thought. I will not say it's a lie. I will not say it's true, but those are your rational thoughts. But this is exactly where I come in. I hate it, and I want to say it on record, Mr. Chris. I hated the fact that ADF released this lady, whether through a rescue campaign or whether through any form. Why? Because millions of our civilians have died in the course of this revolution, which I do respect your integrity in this revolution, reporting on those deaths. And hundreds of our civilians are in the prisons, not in the prisons in Bamenda or in Boya, but in the neighboring country of La République du Cameroon. Now, I stand for prisoner of war exchange or swap. And so I was angry completely. Right now, I am still very angry why this lady would be let loose when she is a terrorist of the highest caliber in La République du Cameroon. Remember, she came out of prison and she's thanking the head of state. She's
She thanked the head of state and she thanked the military. And you can see
the military for rescuing her.
Lelela Frick smiling.
But she did not thank the ADF for arresting her, meaning that the ADF is not La République, the ADF is an opposite force. So which means it first of all dismisses your argument that the ADF works for La République, and secondly, it tarnishes your own argument that the ADF is collaborating with the La République du Cameroon military. Because I expected this politician to thank the ADF for the job well done, if truly that was it, but that's not the case.
Well, that argument doesn't hold water at all, because what do you expect Regina Mundi to do? To be standing in front of those uniformed officers, the governor is there, and all the important people in the city, in the state are there to say thank you, ADF.
Certainly, ADF is part of La République du Cameroon, so they should thank the ADF sister force, going by your argument, which is ludicrous. I think basically it's all hubris if you want to reduce the ADF to La République du Cameroon. I have been, and I am a member of the ADF, although not within the circles, and I stepped back because of some family reasons. But truly and honestly, I still hate La République du Cameroon, and I'll pick a gun any day and time against La République.
Of course. No, you and I, we all hate La République. Now, when you want to give the ADF any credit for what had just happened, the release of Miss Mundi, what would you say of the PRO game that favors La République, not the ADF, not the independentists? It favors La République as far as international community is concerned. La République is saying, see, We can go after we can release our citizens. We can ensure security. And you heard it also from the mouth of Miss Mundi. The soldiers are not only going for the politicians, they are going for the regular citizen. I mean, how do you give that to the ADF? If the ADF had held that lady,
but I will suspend all my work.
I will get to you. If the ADF had held that lady and said, listen, I mean, if we had gotten only one Kondenge detainee or prisoner released and the ADF released that lady, I'm telling you, we will all say they tried, because we understand the pressure of keeping somebody of that caliber and having to be running from place to place. But they didn't do that.
Good. I do agree with your premise there. I had some work to do, but I have sacrificed that. We will stay on this call for as long as possible to have an honest and frank discussion.
Wonderful. Yeah. That being the case, hang on in there. Let me bring in Barrister Martin, who is joining us from London. Barrister Martin, it's great to have you back on ABS, sir.
Okay, good evening, Chris, and good evening, Ivor. And good evening to the audience.
Thank you. You have listened to the argument of Ivor that he still thinks we should give credit to the ADF for picking up Madam Mundi, but then releasing them on a ransom. Does that make sense, sir?
I haven't said